4. Yes, you're still listening to Hard Facts and 92.3 Nigeria Info. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This time we want to take a look at a national issue. So, the reason why we have talk stations like Nigeria Info is so that, and I mean shows like Hard Facts or Morning Crossfire, is so that we can look at societal issues, political, economic, all-round development of a society. And so when, for instance, an activity happens in a local government or a community within the scope of Nigeria Info, we tend to follow up and we tend to look at those things and we bring it to the fore for conversation so you and I can have opinions in it or share opinions in it and, eventually come up with a solution, because there is this saying that the voice of the people is usually the voice of God. And sometimes our conversations, as we have noticed in recent times, get to the people in authority, and they tend sometimes to act on our conversations and bring about proper development for the people. And that's what it is. And you would agree, for people who listen all the time, that there are a plethora of issues bedeviling Nigeria, from plethora of issues as it relates to the economy, to plethora of issues as it relates to security, to plethora of issues as it relates to basic amenities, basically plethora of issues. And if you have been following conversations, and by the way, this conversations do not only happen in Rivers State, it happens across the 36 states and the capital, Abuja. And these conversations have been happening for years, for decades. If you listen to Which Way Nigeria, one of my favorite songs, you would see that song written in the 70s, 80s, still is very much relevant in 2025, many years later. We still don't have constant power supply. We're still struggling to get up to 10,000. I mean, we're not even up to 7,000 megawatts across the country. We're still trying to revamp the agricultural sector that used to be the talk of the world way back in time. We used to be very productive in cocoa, in many cash crops back in the days. But we still struggle in 2025, given all the technology that abounds in the world. We still struggle to get the agricultural sector working. For 2 days in a row on Morning Crossfire, you've been talking about the health sector in Rivers State. But you see, it's basically reflective of the health sector in Nigeria. And it's no wonder that when our political elites fall sick, their first destination is outside the country. They're up on a plane and they're out of the country. And then you wonder, because every now and then we argue on radio, oh, this person is the best politician after Jesus Christ or after Prophet Muhammad. We argue that. Oh, this person is the best thing that has happened to this state. Oh, he built the world-class hospital or world-class health center. But when they fall sick, guess what? They hop on the plane. Sometimes plane owned by taxpayers, and they use taxpayers' money to fuel it, and they go outside to get proper health care. We saw that happen during Buhari's time. We've seen it happen during Tinubu's time as well. But the question then is, we know or don't we know that we have all of these problems? Don't we know that for many decades we have not been able to fix our power sector, our health sector, our educational sector, our agricultural sector? Basically we're still struggling to build the east-west road many years later, and trust me, that road probably even started before I was born. So we do have problems, and that's why we have elections every 4 years, be it at the state level or at the federal level. At the local government level, we have elections every 3 years. And we have this election so that we can recycle leaders and in, or should I say, change leaders. And in changing leaders, we get to hear their manifestos and what they intend to do. And the goal of the authors of the Constitution was, and I believe I was not there, was to ensure that, the people who would emerge or who will come out to run for political offices will come up with solutions to problems bedeviling the country. But it looks like it will take a miracle for the problems bedeviling Nigeria to find solutions or to meet solutions. It feels like that. And why am I saying all of this? The president is traveling yet again, this time to UAE. It is believed that it is for a sustainability summit where world leaders will gather, and in that gathering, they will talk about sustainable development. And this is not the first time the president is traveling. As a matter of fact, if you listen to Peter Obi's New Year's speech, he had data of how many times the president had jetted off in 2024. And it has got me thinking, and I want to throw the question in my head to you right now. Maybe you may have the answer. The question is, are the solutions that we so dearly seek in the hands of developed countries? Can we not tailor our own solutions? Solutions to agriculture, for instance, solutions to, because the problem seemingly is peculiar to Nigeria. I'm not saying other countries don't have problems in all of these sectors that I've mentioned, but the problems we face look like it is peculiar to the country. And if that is the case, with all the professors that we have, the last time I checked the data, the statistics, we had somewhere around the region of 11,000 professors in the country. Now, given the fact that there is a lot of immigration, I don't know what the current stat will be, but 11,000, some would say it's not much for over 200 million people, but it's still something. Because when you look at these developed countries, to an extent, maybe 20-30%, it is the educational sector that drives their economy. Talking about research and development. So what are the professors doing? What are the PhD persons doing in the country? Talking about tailoring solutions to the problem in the country. Even the people in public offices in the corridor of power, what are they doing? What is the guarantee that these developed countries, I beg your pardon, who are also looking at how they can sustain their development? I mean, we're talking about the UK, who is going through some economic turmoil. We're looking at the United States, that is, looking at maintaining its status at the top, in terms of Committee of Nations, and they are in this battle with Russia and China. We're looking at Russia also looking at maintaining some level of power in the Committee of Nations. We're seeing Germany, who was passive at some point, beginning to lose some economic substance. So all of these developed countries, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, they're looking at how they can maintain, whatever it is that they have that makes them a developed nation. And we run to them. What is the guarantee that their help is intended to make us stand on our feet? What is the guarantee that their help will make us stand on our feet? We've been seeing the president. There have been talks about some kind of, interaction with France. We've seen the president try to interact with Saudi Arabia. We've seen the president try to interact, with some leaders in the European continent. But what is the guarantee that all of these promises, even if they become a reality, will help make Nigeria as great as the potential Nigeria carries? Why is it difficult? And that's like a million naira question or a billion naira question. Why is it difficult for us to have homegrown solutions to our problems? Is it rocket science to fix the educational sector? Is it rocket science to fix the security sector? Is it rocket science? I mean, yes, we need investors, but are we saying looking internal or looking inside of Nigeria, we can find revenue generators? Is that what we're saying? Anyways, so many questions in my head. I wonder if I've been able to express the thought very well and very aptly. But let's go to the phone lines now. I do have a commercial in 2 minutes' time. Should I wait till after the commercial and then open the phone lines? I think I should. But the phone numbers are 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, and 0817-923-0007. These are the call numbers. WhatsApp number 0809-030-6416. All right. Let's get your thoughts and let's talk for development. Do you think that the solution or solutions to the numerous problems bedeviling Nigeria are in the hands of these developed countries? Because if the president is not visiting one country, the vice president is visiting. We're always somewhere talking about attracting investors. And yet again, we need investors. Almost every country has got investors, right? But is that going to solve the problem? Or do we need to look inside? And why is it difficult for us to tailor homegrown solutions to the numerous problems, the myriad of problems that we have in the country? All right. After the commercial, when I do come back, I'll get your thoughts. Please do stay tuned. 08179230002, 08179230003, and 08179230007. These are the call numbers. But if you want to send me a WhatsApp message, via WhatsApp, 0809-030-6416 is the number to use. Once again, 0809-030-6416 is the number to use. All right, let's start with this call. 92.3 Nigerian for your name, your location, your contribution.
Yes, Kalada, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Comrade Clinton calling from Bori.
All right, Clinton, welcome.
You are saying that why can't we look inward?
Internally.
Rather than seeking for foreign investors. We should understand that Nigeria is a developing country.
Okay.
We cannot do it on our own. We definitely need aid from these developed countries to support us.
Okay, so let's look at China. Let's look at Saudi Arabia. Even UAE, a couple of years back, about 50, 60 years ago, they were also developing countries. Even look at India, for instance. But somehow they left us behind, and I don't think they went looking for help from other countries. They looked inwards. They looked internally.
Canada, it is not true that they did not look for help. They sought for help. But
Okay.
the fact remains that they were very intentional about what they wanted to achieve. They had a target. They had a project. In Nigeria here, or in Africa in general, the level of corruption we have, what is giving us this problem is corruption.
Okay.
It's not that the politicians don't have the will to do certain things, but there are forces fighting them from doing it. Even when they have a very good blueprint, implementation is always the problem to achieve those targets. Yes, we can look inward. I believe we can look inward as a country. We can even invest in our local agriculture. That can boost
Okay. Let me come in now, Clinton. So if you're saying, we should go outside, but corruption is a major problem, if we bring from outside investors and all, will corruption not still swallow all the investments that come in?
We are still saying the same thing.
Okay. All right.
They have very brilliant ideas. But how would these ideas be implemented in a country bedeviled with corruption?
All right.
So corruption is our major challenge. If not, leaders have some good ideas. The president has some good ideas. But I want to pray. I want to believe in this president that he has what it takes to navigate this country from where it is currently. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I've got Siki from Okrika. Siki, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kalad.
Yeah, good afternoon, Siki.
I think the solution to our problem is in our hands. Going out looking for people or traveling to other nations to find solutions, we are only increasing the problem. You see, when you go out borrowing money, I could remember that this particular student, you throw your mind back in your secondary school days, he's always borrowing money from people, and when you borrow, they put interest. So whenever they come for him and they give him money in the same house, he use everything to settle every other person and he remain broke.
No, Siki.
Go about borrowing money.
Siki, there's not every time. It's not every time that the president travels that he travels to borrow money. Sometimes he goes to get investors. Yes. So let's not get it twisted. But then again, the question is not about borrowing or investors. I'm saying, why are we not looking at locally made solutions to our problems? Why are we not concentrating on that? Or are we concentrating on that?
I understand where you're going, sir.
All right.
The real truth is that we lack the will. Our people, they lack the will to implement. Otherwise, they have very good policies. A lot of government have come and have gone. They have very good policies. But the problem is lack of will to implement these things. They prefer getting those things outside where they know that they will get their own share out of. And they keep us in the dark. Because if they want, if they propose no solution, we'll be part of the system and we will know where these things are going to.
Right.
So they lack to implement those policies, homegrown policies they have made. Otherwise, many governments have brought up policies that would have made Nigeria a better place. Look at Japan. After the Second World War, they closed their doors. They closed their doors to the world and they started afresh. And what happened? Before America was somewhere and they had to drive their way through the stick to know what is happening in Japan.
All right,
It's not
Siki.
as if we don't have people that can live to live. We don't have people. We have them. We choose to take people outside because of this. They benefit from whatever they're doing. You know that this is my son. It is my son. Or
Siki, I would have to move on now. But thank you very much. I've got gift from Yenigua. Gift, welcome. What's on your mind?
Thank you, Kalada.
Yeah, welcome.
Good afternoon once again.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Kalada, I must confess to you that there's no need of we even trying to calculate if these leaders of Africa and especially Nigeria, my country, your country, that leaders should not travel to look out for investors. I can bet my check any day, anytime. That will be the best thing for now. Just like what Clinton was saying. For the now, we are only developing because Africa is still a third world nation. Nobody would deny this fact. And if you come to think of it, Canada, I am telling you the records on ground. This president, this current one that you talked about that is traveling today again, is a business-minded person. The mindset is all about running the government of Nigeria like a personal business that you take seriously. You don't take it as if it's a government thing that you see civil servants. My papa matter. Now my papa work. I don't get time. Anything will happen to this vehicle, make it happen. You understand those slangs. But this man is not running Nigeria that way. Shehu Sani recently documented the gains he accessed all the governments of the past from Obasanjo. He praised Obasanjo for cancelling the debts. And he thanked God for somebody like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who himself he was under as a comrade, activist. I am telling you the gains when I went through what this man did, called Shehu Sani, the former senator from Kaduna State. My brother, it will marvel you. I don't know why even Mr. President and his team, they are not even blowing their trumpet.
All right, I've got to go.
They are doing fantastically well in terms of foreign direct investment.
But yet again, the question is that going to help solve? I'm not saying all of these things are bad.
Yes, it will help.
Okay, that's the conversation.
Now as we speak.
That's the conversation.
That is why they are doing everything within their power to even take care of these very bunkering activities that are going on in the creeks.
I've got to go.
So, my brother, that is the best thing. You cannot do it alone.
All right.
Third world nation.
All right, thank you very
no
much.
No wonder you cried about River State that no direct foreign.
Gift, I've got to go now. Thank you very much. Now, I understand where Gift is coming from. However, I've not said that foreign direct investments are bad. Like I said, every country, I mentioned it during my presentation, every country has got a foreign direct investment into, they need that foreign direct investment to thrive. The question is, are these the solutions to the problems bedeviling, the myriad of problems bedeviling Nigeria? Because money goes where there is value. So we're calling direct, we're saying we want to get investments from outside of the country. But what value are we giving? And that's why I'm asking, why are we not looking inward? Or are we looking inward and we've not noticed that we are looking inwards? Because, there was some drama at the National Assembly yesterday when they asked the Minister of Finance to explain certain economic details. And, he asked that be done behind closed doors. But let's not listen to Alioze, who's calling from Port Harcourt. Alioze, sorry I'd kept you for too long. Do call back if you can. But this message from Malik says, the truth of the matter is Nigerian government cannot do away without going outside the country claiming to look for solution. While the solution is staring in our eyes here in Nigeria, we don't value our professors, man of the people. Even though you build world best hospitals in Nigeria, people will still prefer to go outside the country for treatment. That's why when we have a car made in Nigeria, we prefer importing. When we have made in Aba, we call it fake. why made in Germany is original. That is why many of us who are married I still they outside. Malik is laughing, but Malik, thank you very much. What a way to end that message. I've got Dakuku from Eche. Dakuku, welcome.
Hello, Canada. Good evening.
All of the above, welcome.
This is Dakuku from my office. Canada. The problem, this topic here, I always like your topic. You see this problem, this country we have. The problem of Nigeria is corruption. Nigerians are investing in other countries, leave their own country. That is why we are having problems. When you build an investor here, they will be able to tax that investor to make sure that investor live here. It doesn't they will be invested here. Like I know Escavos. When Escavos was Escavos, people who were against us were the white men. But when Nigeria take over, everything was being collapsed. The things were not going normal in that Escavos as it is. People were not feeling comfortable as they were feeling there again. Because of the business in Nigeria, the leaders we have today are worse leaders. They cannot lead us to the promised land. None of them, very few. And we should monitor them, those who have ruled in their various states, other senators who is coming to contest president or whatever. We know how to, like you see, Shim is a very nice person in this state. Our former governor, Mechi, was a very nice leader. Obi was a very nice leader. If we give these people president, they will take this country to a greater point where we'll be able to achieve. Look at Tinubu. He could not do anything in Lagos. Even if those who work with them, those who working with them, he could not do anything in River State. How can you do such much in a leader?
All right.
I think we are under democracy.
All right, Dakuku, I've got to go now. Thank you very much. I've got Godswill from Rumudara. Godswill, welcome. What's on your mind?
Good afternoon, Kalada.
Yeah, good afternoon, Godswill.
Okay, just to contribute to the conversation, I really want to say that sometimes it seems a bit frustrating listening to the way we criticize government, because somehow it seems like we want to criticize everything government is doing, and the only solution we want is the one that is yet to be done. So I hear Nigerians are not happy of their criticism around the number of trips the government or the president in particular has made since he's been in office. We want to look inward to solve our problem. I remember when Buhari came in, shut down the border and said, let's grow our food and feed ourselves. The same people also complained that why would he do that? We don't have the capacity and all of that. Now, the Nigerian problem are so enormous. I liked it when you took time to enumerate them. And somehow, sometimes one of the things we do is to expect that a single president will just come in and
solve everything.
Will fix all of our problems. It's not possible. It's not realistic. From all that we have seen, and I believe majority of Nigerians agree, that the current president at least seems to be getting it right in some of the aspects of our economy. Now we are no longer talking about importation of PMS. If Buhari had not probably involved some efforts from outside the country to fix our refineries, we may not have had them running today. So let's take it easy.
But Godswill, let me pause you now. Let me pause you.
Okay.
Now, I like the example you've just made, but I would like to correct something. We're not talking to criticize. We're talking to understand and profess solutions, right? That's why we talk on this show. Secondly, now you've just said we brought in experts to help develop our refineries so that we can start producing locally. So that means we have started doing local production, which is a local solution to a local problem. I don't know if you get where I'm coming from. So can we then say, if that worked in the petroleum sector or is working in the petroleum sector, we can borrow a leaf from that sector and try in the, let's say, educational sector, get experts to come in, develop the educational sector so we can locally educate our people. I don't know if the conversation makes sense to you right now. So it's not basically criticizing the president for traveling, but we're wondering and we're pondering, is this the solution? And like you also referenced, Buhari's time, he closed the borders. But then again, was that the right way to approach it? It's still a conversation nonetheless. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, okay, so I get it. Why I actually made mention of criticism is you referenced the press conference that P2B had earlier in the year where he listed a number of times the president have traveled.
Yeah.
Then my point is this. We should at some point give our leaders the benefit of doubt. The trips that are being made now are not for jamborees.
Okay.
Even if you check the trips, you see that world leaders, people from other countries, even the countries that are already developed, the ones that have used homegrown solutions, they are still coming for the same summit.
True.
Then let me also close by saying this. We have also seen situations where maybe a summit like this is going on and a Nigerian president is not there. The conversation now will not be
why is he not there?
What is going on? Does it mean that we are now losing our position in the Committee of Nations?
I get you.
Why would other countries be there and Nigerian president is not there?
I get you.
It becomes the flip side of the conversation. So let's take it easy. That's my own point.
All right, let's take it easy.
We seem to have a president that somehow seems to know what he's doing. Let's allow him. If at the end of 4 years he's unable to convince us that he knows what, then we can vote him out, like you say. We'll have election cycles. I'm bringing a new person.
All right. Thank you, Godswill. I get your message. Godswill is saying, hey, give them benefit of the doubt. But I'm also trying to explain, my conversation is not focused on whether you should travel or not. I think I've made that clear before now. My conversation is not whether we need investments, and of course we need investment. My question is, are we looking deep enough for locally made solutions to the problem that we have? Are we even looking at all? But let's come here where there is Muriel calling from Okrika. Muriel, welcome.
Thank you, Kathy. Good morning.
Yeah, greetings to you. Welcome. Muriel, the line is breaking. Are you sure we can have the conversation? Can you hear me?
Is it clear?
Muriel.
Is it fine?
Go ahead and speak. Let's hear.
Okay. Yes. Going off heart. Trust me, I've been thinking about
Muriel, I'm sorry, I would have to let you go. Very poor network from your end. 92.3 Nigeria Info, your name and location.
Hello, Canada.
Yeah, greetings, Ida.
Yeah, Ida from Nkoro.
Yes, I know, Ida from Nkoro. Welcome.
Yeah. My brother, our leaders is please. Have you gone to at least fictional state closer to you? Go there, you see a lot of mosquitoes. And our leaders will travel like them down here. They will fly out. But I want to ask one question. We get any apple?
If I've seen where they plant apple
tree there for Nigeria.
It depends on the apple. You know, they're
the normal apple they eat now.
Yes, of course, they are being planted in Nigeria. If you go to Jos, you go to Jos, Plateau State. Yes, of course.
Because I know that before they import the apple to Nigeria, they will kill the seed first with injection. So cannot plant it here. Have you heard something like that?
Those are yes says. Come on, let's not do that. Those are yes says. So apple does not grow in certain environmental conditions, and that's why you can't see it being grown in many parts of the country. But the point is, we get to import some of it, we get to produce some of it.
Now I'm pleading with my leaders to please come to Nigeria and build something that will benefit us. Or look at what the governor is doing for River State. Using reverse money for River State. You can see the project. No, I'm telling you, just do it.
I want to ask you a question. What is he building? You said the leaders should build, but what is the governor building?
Like, listen, like to renovate. If you go to Ghana local government, like Samdera district, look at the hospital. It's like it's in London. It is very well. Go to psychiatry hospital. So when we have some mentors, we will take them here, not to fly them out. That money you use and fly people to London. Use it here for another thing. You know. So my brother,
let me ask you this question: the structures we're building, the schools, the hospitals, all of them, do they have modern day equipment? You know, our schools, are they computerized? I mean, I know the last caller, Gospel, said I shouldn't be too hard on government and criticize everything,
like before,
but
you don't get anything like that.
Oh, really?
You don't leave it like that.
Oh, okay.
But for now, if you go inside, the school, I have the pictures, I can send it to you. If you go to school, there is no and they do. You see laptops, chairs, and every other thing.
Interesting.
Okay, they renovate comprehensive. After the governor just left, the former commissioner for education went back to pack the laptop. They now called the governor. Governor went back there.
Interesting.
Drop those laptops.
Interesting.
Yes. So why will you go under governor boss? You want to go and pack it,
All right.
go and sell it.
All right. I've got to move on now. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
I've got Wala from Oigbo. Hello. Okay, I think we lost that conversation. But let's come here. This one says, you see, this is such a long read, I would not lie. But you say, you see, Nigeria is so blessed. I mean, mind you, it is not any exaggeration that Nigeria is the most blessed of all nations of the earth. Let me ask, what factory can't we build as a nation? We don't need investors as solutions. I don't get that part. He said we don't need investors as solutions. We don't he said, get me right, please. I mean, we don't need to ask them to come. It shouldn't be part of our president's address at every world conference. How many other countries beg for investors in their addresses? We just need to own Nigeria, actually. What would it cost for Nigeria to build a factory that can give us exactly the same quality of rice as foreign ones? What will it cost? What will it cost for Nigeria to build a factory that can give us exactly the same quality of rice as a foreign one? How much would it cost to build it? What would it cost us to build a car manufacturing plant here, not an assembling plant? Why couldn't and can't Nigeria build a refinery 10 times better in every way than Dangote's? Is it that we don't have the money? Nigerian leaders are so corrupt, selfish, and wicked. Why can't we have 20 hours on disrupted power supply? He said, and if we must fix this, then we need a constitution that establishes very strong institutions that can checkmate individuals and officers. Do you know what happened yesterday is big enough to make those ministers sacked? Senate president stepped down if what conceded? I don't get that part, but he went ahead to say, do you know that if we have a constitution that says for you to remain a president, you must build 2 manufacturing factories within your 2 years in office, one must be completed and the other must be 50% done. Failure would amount to your resignation and never to be referred to as former president in the country. Now, this wouldn't need a court to enforce. Mind you, these factories must be the choice of the majority of Nigerians by vote across geopolitical zones. Do you know how many manufacturing factories Nigeria would have now? I have a lot of solutions, believe me, just time and how. I remain Obi Juru Bride from HA. But Obi Juru, I've thought about what the governors would do. Let's listen to Muriel from Okrika. Muriel, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Hi, KDB. Good evening. Can you hear me clearly now?
I can hear you clearly now. Quickly, we don't have much time.
Thank you. Look, KDB, you've just been on EdSpark for over a year now, and I'm going for 2 years. Look, KDB, I think if you're going out of, you're being moved out of EdSpark, I think you should go up the ladder.
Oh, that's not the point, Muriel. Let's stay with the I don't have much time. Let's stay with the conversation.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. But I have to say this, KDB, but your name is in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, interesting.
Nonetheless, it has to be up the ladder.
Okay.
On nothing else.
Right.
Thank you, KDB. But, among countries that are underdeveloped, depending on developed country, Nigeria is an underdeveloped country.
Okay.
I don't think we are a developing country for now. Just like I said to my children that when my son comes to me and says he don't know somebody else is carrying first in class, and I told him, I said, okay, try to mingle a bit with that person. It's not as if you want to impose yourself on the person, but you see, try to initiate friendship with that person. So you get to know what the person is doing that you're not doing. That you make sure the person to carry first. These are the secrets, the things I try to tell him, and he's applying it gradually. So for underdeveloped countries to try to mingle with developed countries is good, KDB.
Right.
No country is an island, but I know every country has their top secrets. They cannot reveal everything to you, but whatever they give to you, it has to be that you yourself, you're doing something. There is something you're doing in your country that you get the little from them, and you add up. Because you're moving up the ladder. Even U.S., that is one of the highest, still depends on China. They're owing China. They're still dealing with China. So I think it is not wrong for our country leaders to go to other countries.
All right.
But rather.
All right.
Thank you, Kedibo.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, work with other countries, but please add value to yourself. That's what the summary of Muriel's conversation. Asadikoy from our three says the solution is in our hands. It's apparently, or he said, it apparently seems difficult to solve because once you become a Nigerian successful politician, you automatically have outgrown these problems. So what else do we want the politicians to solve? It is only those not in the corridors of power that are complaining of having problems. The solution now is individualized. Wait for your turn, like the president did, and feel liberated. What a take. I said to go away with that one. But this one says, I read it after the commercial text from Oibo's message and many other messages. I got a couple, but when I come back, I read them.
The show continues.